they hit me up after a day at work, like, yeah, we gotta let you go. So I'm like, dang, that was my first time being unemployed or not having like some sure guaranteed bread coming in.
I feel like a lot of people in tough situations, we give up. It seemed like you used that to seize an opportunity, like God took one thing away from you to give you something better.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I felt like if I'm gonna do something or try to get to a point where I can work for myself, which was something I always kind of thought about but never knew how that's gonna happen, like at all. This seemed like a moment to just try it. I paid $2,500 for a hot dog cart. That ended up making me anywhere from $1,500 and some change or a little higher a week after. It gotta be something that you committed to that will keep you going and make you not, stop doing it. If you willing to just, what, I ain't doing it no more, you really didn't want it.
All right, so we back. As y'all can see from the title, y'all probably know what's going on. Where I'm at. Qsculinarycart. You feel me? But we're not at the cart today. We at the actual shop. Let me introduce y'all to my guy.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Got my guy Q here today. So today what we got going on is he's going to share a little bit about his story, how he went from a food truck cart to opening up this shop, how he runs his business, how he... everything. He's going to share all the goods. Let's just get straight into it. Walk in here. Let's check the place out. All right, so this is actually us walking around the shop. Q, tell us what's up with the kitchen.
All right, so man, as you see, we got to take our only spot. So the kitchen up here where you place your orders and everything right there. We got a dishwasher, 3-compartment sink, just prep space right here, some salad food over here. There you got all the burgers and hot dogs and things that happens here. Another prep table, so we're doing a lot of our prep on this side. Got a flat top and fryer right there. Another prep table, full walk-in cooler here. It's like a big refrigerator. Got another side. This is the walk-in freezer, so all the frozen stuff's still over there.
So how long have you had this shop?
We opened August the 2nd. We did a soft opening on that Friday. Went live that Saturday and Sunday, and then since then we run Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
So since you started this business actually being inside the store, running it, what do you feel like the most important thing it's taught you so far has been?
What's the importance?
The most important thing that you've learned, like just from running this business or just anything personal for you?
I think the most important thing I've learned is how big marketing is, honestly.
Yeah.
With the food truck and the hot dog cart in that era, I felt like since it was more focused on going to places where people were already at, like workspaces.
So are you saying like you would find the people, but now it's more so getting the people to come since you're stationary?
100%.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I would be at apartments and work sites and bars, brewers, and things where there's people there, they already knowing I'm gonna be there because the hosts already sent the menus out and stuff. So I'm used to coming there, and all I'm doing is posting online. It's a little advertisement, but with the storefront, it's not like it. I'm still posting online and things like that, but that's not putting that same set of people right at your doorstep every day. So it's going through that learning curve with finding more ways to market to get people to come see me. So it's just big, it's new, but facing that challenge.
We check out that food truck?
Let's do it. This is the truck, kind of like where it all started, man. For the setting phase, we started out with just a hot dog cart. But pretty simple. It's more of a consolidated version of the kitchen. We got the same salad cooler, fryer.
How many people were working there at a time?
Just two.
Just two?
Always two. I ain't got, it's a 6x2, so it's not as big as some of the other trucks out there, but as you see, man, we push the food out of this joint, no problem.
That's all that matters. So how'd you actually get a cart? How does that work?
So different counties require different things. Like my advice would be, before buying a unit that you plan on using, go and find out what your county's requirements are, because you could get something that you like, okay, this has this and that in it, and then when you go get ready to get all the permitting and stuff done from your county, they'll tell you like, nah, you need to change that, you need to change this, change that, and it's like, dang, you gotta kind of redo stuff. So simple as acquiring your unit, getting all the paperwork and permitting from your health department, and then you on to the races. You go out and just start finding spots that allow you to come sit up. Because a lot of people have a misconception and think like, I get asked a lot like, yo, do you be at this spot or go park downtown or this? You can't just
do what you want.
Let me go park somewhere today. And I'm gonna say, because you gotta think, if you own a property or something like that, and you just one day you see some people outside in your parking lot, so it's like, bro, who are y'all? Come here. So, you know, you're typically getting permission from property owners to say, yeah, you good out here.
That's good though, because I never would have thought about that. Like I probably would have been one of the people who thought, oh, I got a food truck, I'm around, I'm about to just slide anywhere. What about like driving down the street? Like say if you want to, you know how like water ice trucks, ice cream trucks, you could just drive down the street. Can you do that?
You gotta see.
You can't do that?
I ain't gonna say that you can't, but it's almost like a physical you can't, because you know, ice cream and stuff is different. You know?
Oh, I see. You're actually cooking back.
Yeah,
okay.
So you got oil in the fryer. But if you moving, that joint is gonna be splashing. Like I done made a mistake and left oil in the fryer, like leaving an event and forgot to like drain it out and drove with the oil in there, and then you go back in there and you're like, it was all over the floor. Like.
All right, so next, people love the cash. How do the cash behind this business work? How much money were you making on a food cart? What's the potential scale range from whatever to whatever?
I think, especially when it comes to food trucks, and I'm still doing the storefront, but those type of numbers will vary. I took a route of starting very small scale to where I could do it without having to like go get any kind of loans and stuff like that. Starting out with a hot dog cart, it worked out for me because I had enough to just go buy that. Like I paid $2,500 for a hot dog cart that ended up making me anywhere from $1,500 and some change or a little higher a week after. So,
looking back on it, do you feel like the fact that you didn't get that loan was a better choice? Or would you advise people to maybe?
I mean, it was only $2,500. So that's what I say. When I mean, most people, I ain't gonna say that's a common path of hot dog cart to food truck, because food truck cuisines are obviously can range. So everybody couldn't be like, I'm trying to start selling Jamaican food. I'm gonna just get a cart first, because you can't really like make Jamaican food on the cart. So you technically like need a truck first. But for me, that's the route I took. Food trucks can range like as well. I feel like I got a good deal when I got mine, because I paid like $14,500 for it, and it came with the generator already. So like that was a steal. Them joints can be as high as 60
bands.
Yeah, like used ones kind of right now probably in like the 30 range. But like I said, man, that the financial side very. I took the approach of, I'm going to do what I can do with what I got. Like I said earlier, for me that worked, it was kind of alleviated a lot of the pressure of like, I always felt like, dang, bro, if I go take out some big loans, this joint got to work. Or, they already, the bill's going to be coming in even heavier to where you got to be paying back this much a month. And I don't even know how much this is going to make back or how quick or how soon. So I was just like, let me just do what I can do, work with what I got, and go from there. So after doing the hot dog cart, just saving, looking at food trucks and stuff like that, found one that I had the bread to get, went on ahead and knocked that out, you know what I'm saying, got a truck to pull it with, and we was off to the races. And saving, kind of found a spot I knew if it's kind of turnkey with everything I need in there, like what's the number that I'm gonna have to pay per month, and see if that number makes sense. And as far as the formula of what I feel like I can bring in per month to handle that, found this spot, and it kind of all just like fell in line with timing and stuff. I'm like, all right, let's do it. From being on that hot dog cart from 2020 to 2022, spending like, that was 2 winters, like December time came around, where I'm like out, bro. I was late nights. I'm at clubs with the joint like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Just like freezer. I'm like, bro, something got to change. Like I was after that second winter, bro. I was determined like by winter of 2023, I'm gonna have a food truck. Just so I'm like, cause I had like I said, a hot dog cart with an umbrella. Like you just sitting outside in the joint. You ain't inside. It was cold. Like when it's hot, you burning up. So just being inside a food truck when it's hot, it's still hot, but at least you got a little covering, so it ain't like the sun beaming. Or when it's cold, you got a little heat from the equipment and stuff like that. So I was just real determined to get in something else. I'm like, bro, I don't think I can go through another winter where I can't feel my feet and survive that joint.
So, what do you feel like kept you going then? Because I don't think I could last. I would have been out there cold as shit. A lot of people give up on shit in a month. You lasted 2 years, so what advice would you give on that aspect?
I'm starting to see, because you know when you watching videos and you seeing people like, bro, just don't stop. You got to keep going. You don't quit. And it's like, everybody's saying the same thing for sure. Nah, that joint is really real. Like, it got to be something that you committed to that will keep you going and make you not, stop doing it. It's like, you want to do this or not? So if your answer is yes, I want to have a restaurant one day, or yes, I want to have a food truck, if you willing to just be like, you know what, I ain't doing it no more, you really didn't want it. Like, you always hear with business, like sometimes it don't work out the first time, or you need to go tweak it and do this and that. But that's totally different from you getting into it and seeing what kind of work you got to put in, and then saying like, yo, I ain't putting in that work, I ain't doing that, that's too much, that's giving up. So if you really just go in there and not quit on yourself and like try your hardest, you giving yourself the best shot at making it. So for me, it's like, if no other reason behind like how or why you keep doing it, it's because that's what I want to do. Like I really want to do it. It ain't on some, yo, I'm just doing it for the money or for the clients. Like I really want my business in this restaurant thing, and the items that I create, I want people to be able to get them, enjoy it, tell me what their feedback is, and continue to work on putting out what I've created. So that's all I need to keep going.
And before we wrap it up, you want to give anybody any advice on life or starting up a food truck, anything?
I always say, just don't be afraid to be a student. You know what I'm saying? Go get your feet wet. You know what I mean? Some people they ain't go get no prior experience. They're like, I'm just gonna jump out there and do it. Some people do that and it works. I don't know percentage-wise, but I feel like going to get your feet wet definitely gonna up the percentage of you being able to make it. So whether that's going to shadow somebody doing it the way that you want to do it, or doing something similar, or just being in the field period, because I worked in various restaurants. I worked in different sectors of the food service industry that isn't just necessarily a restaurant, like living centers or like catering places. So say I moved to Charlotte, don't go to culinary school, I'm just out here and got a food truck. I don't think the results will be the same as right now. Somebody came and like, yo, you don't really know how to do it. You might have to keep turning down stuff because you kind of stuck with, all I know how to do is this. If it's not this, I can't. So I feel like I got enough knowledge to kind of pivot into really any direction with the food. As long as I got the kitchen space to cook it, I can do it.
Q, tell us a little bit about you, your story, where you came from, how you got involved into this. You already told me a lot of it off camera, but just give us a general thing about yourself. Okay,
all right. So my name is Qsculinarycart. I go by Q. I started Qsculinarycart in 2020. It came about as I was working at a restaurant in Mooresville, where you currently reside and stuff like that. And just picked up this hot dog cart I did for one of my guys I met during that time, and did some research, did some homework on how to get that started. And I'm like, all right, cool, let me get it going. It's supposed to be a side hustle, like another way to kind of make some income aside from our traditional work schedule. And about 30 days after I got all the permits and everything locked in with the hot dog cart, the dang on pandemic was full effect. And they hit me up after a day at work, like, yeah, we gotta let you go or whatever. So I'm like, dang, you know what I mean? That was my first time being unemployed or not having like some sure guaranteed bread coming in. So I'm like, kind of just went out on a limb and was like, well, since I just started this, let me see if I can somehow make this work. And just kind of dove into it, bro. Try to, keep it going. And it ended up turning into, I went from that hot dog cart in 2020 to a food truck in 2022. That's when I was able to expand my menu. For those first 2 years, I could only sell hot dogs, like chips and drinks, just based on the parameters and the laws that the health department got set up. So once I got into the food truck, I was able to expand, put those burgers on there, the sandwiches and side items and whatnot. We did that from 22 to 2024, and as you see now, we right here in the restaurant. So we got this started 3 months ago, opened up beginning of August, and trying to keep pushing on through this, man, keep growing the brand and the business.
So one thing that I just thought about when you talked about the fact that you got laid off, but I feel like a lot of people in tough situations, we give up a lot of the times, but it seemed like you used that to seize an opportunity, like God took one thing away from you to give you something better. Or how did you see that situation?
Yeah, personally, it was definitely a shocker. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure anybody who is living through that moment, I took, like, when they told me, my first thought was like, dang, why y'all ain't laid me off this morning? So I could have just I could have just went home, bro. Yeah. Like, I done worked a full day. I done cleaned up.
That's out of pocket.
I'm about to leave. Like, manager just popped back in, the GM, like, what you doing? So anyway, it was definitely...
Wait, so they used you for the day and then got rid of you?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's crazy.
I was kind of like... It was after just all the work, period. In my mind, just at that moment, I'm like, I know I'm going to be all right somehow, some way. But I was so beat just from the regular work. I'm like, I just get a free vacation. Let me just take a week or so just to process, really to rest, and then I can figure out where to go from here, because I'm, like, exhausted anyway. But anyway, yeah, it was just one of those things where I felt like if I'm going to do something or try to get to a point where I can work for myself, which is something I always kind of thought about but never knew how that's going to happen, like, at all, I'm like, this seemed like a moment to just try it. So kind of had a little cushion as far as, like, money saved and, like, looking at my bills and stuff like that. That was ahead of me, seeing that, all right, like, you got a little bit of room to try this right now. And I was telling myself, like, this was in March of 2020. I'm like, when we get like September, October, that range, if it ain't going well, go get a job. Like, that was the last thing I was worried about as far as just finding a job with the credentials I done had from up to that point in the food service industry. So my biggest concern was, like, is this gonna work or not? Mm-hmm. And like I said, once I got to that kind of deadline, it was like, yo, it's going. And it was all brand new, like, literally start a Facebook page, make an Instagram page, 0 followers, don't got nowhere to go. I don't know who to ask. I kind of just took that approach of, like, bro, do whatever you can do to make it work. I'm like, I will come set up wherever. So I'm going to grocery stores. My first event was at my hair salon. I'm going to barbershops. And I'm like, to me, I was thinking, people I know that own businesses that will let me pull up will probably be the easiest yes that I can get, as far as, like, can I come set my joint up and see if it'll work or not? So when I was thinking, I'm like, well, I go to the barbershop. I know owners of the barbershop. Let me just ask him. I know, people who twist my hair. I know the owners of the shop. Let me just ask her, can I come set up? So the joint just kind of started snowballing, and then started reaching out to people online, like, hashtagging, like, Charlotte apartments and Charlotte residential and, like, foodies, food bloggers and stuff, and just sending people messages like, hey, I just started this hot dog cart. I'd love for you to come try my food out.
Just reaching out to people.
Yeah, I was not hip to, like, real food bloggers and people who, like, do that often, but it just felt like it seemed like the right thing to do at the time, and it just kind of, it was working. So I ain't gonna lie, like, it was just easy, as if, it was just going that smooth. I knew that I could do that joint from the get-go, because it was times that I was, like, sitting outside on that hot dog cart, like, on Indeed, scrolling, like, dang, yeah, in case this don't work, bro, let me just see what's out there, so at least I know who I'm finna hit up first. But then the other side of me was like, even though you looking and doubting a little bit, if you don't apply, you won't get it. I just knew, like, if you apply to however many of these, you're gonna get one of them. Somebody gonna hit you back. You gonna go work, and then you gonna be back where you were at. So I had to fight myself from applying, because, like I said, I never not had a job up to that point. So getting one wasn't even a big thing. It was more scary to do it on my own versus go get a job.
Because you wasn't comfortable with doing it on your own at the time.
Yeah, I had never you know, dependent on myself to fully fund my whole life. Like he was always, I know a guaranteed check coming in for sure. But when that was gone, it was like, oh man, what am I doing? But
And
take that risk.
how long did it take you like to actually start seeing something that you was happy with? I'll say.
It was kind of coming in gradually, like month by month. I think personally, with kind of like the my standard of my expectation of myself, and like when I have a goal, I kind of have a tendency to want to see like kind of what I'm looking at as the end result. I be wanting that joint on day one, and it's kind of like,
but we all do in a way.
yeah, it's kind of like unrealistic to say or to believe, but I be like, nah. So from Jump Street, I'm looking at, if I'm trying to make this much a day, if I ain't making that on day one, I'm already like, ugh, like, man, what I gotta do on day two? And then I'm talking to people about it, and they're like, man, you only this many days in, but I'm like, I want it now. So like when I'm hitting those numbers, it's just not consistent. So some days I might hit like exactly what I want, and I'm like, yeah, I'm only 1 week or 2 weeks in, but I'm seeing that it can be done. I'm just trying to get it consistent. So as the joint start building, the confidence just start building from there, and it kind of turned more into a thing of like, I know it can work, but how, with the food truck and things like that, for me anyway, I ain't have it to where I can go set up in this one spot and everybody just flock. And I was kind of going around, so I'm hitting all these different areas. So it was very dependent on other people to be able to be telling me that I could come set up at their spots. So for about at least those first 2 years before I transitioned into the food truck, once 2023 hit, that's when I really felt like, all right, like it's kind of stable. I can kind of I found some different spots to where they like, all right, you can come here every Tuesday. You can come here every other Wednesday, and then filling in those gaps to where I wasn't looking at it like, all right, you got this month full of events, but next month, where you gonna be at? Because, as a food truck, I'm like, if I don't have nowhere to be, I ain't making no money. So it took a good 2 years of me just battling myself to kind of win that mental battle and be able to say, all right, bro, like it's all right, it's smooth, but it felt like, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year and a half, I still would feel like it wasn't a monetary thing, because that was starting to kind of build, but it was more so like, damn, if you don't got nowhere to go, that feeling didn't leave for a long time. Well, for 2 years for me personally. Yeah. And I'm still, even after getting into the shop, I still got the food truck working right now. So until I get the restaurant standing on its own where I want it to be, I'm still dealing with that to try to, to help this thing go. So it ain't as bad as it used to be, where it's like, oh my gosh, but it's like, it still ain't on autopilot by far. So we just working through it, bro.
Still got some more to do. In a great spot though. All right, I was going to wrap it up for today. Shout out my guy Q. He came out, showed a bunch of knowledge, taught us a lot of things, inspired me, and I'm sure he inspired a lot of other people watching. Let us know where anybody can find you, where your shop is located, all that stuff.
All right, man. So you can catch us in the restaurant. It's 8432 Old Statesville Road, Charlotte, North Carolina. You can follow us on Instagram at Qsculinarycart. Definitely come see us, man. We got some things in here that we really...
They got the Buff Glizzy. Come check it out.
The Buff Glizzy is here. No Diddy.
No Diddy.
Where you can come, enjoy some different spins on some hot dogs, burgers, sandwiches, wings, different things like that. And come see us.
Not culinary. You do catering events too.
We do catering. We do the whole nine.
How can people reach out to you?
You can reach out to us, like I said, Instagram, Facebook. Our email is on both of those platforms as well. You can find us on Yelp. You can find us on Google. Pretty much anywhere online. Have all the contact information on all those platforms to reach out. And whatever you need, we'll do our best to get you taken care of. If we can't do it in-house, we'll get you to somebody who we recommend. And, good.
All right. Shout out to my guy Q. His Instagram is right here. Go check it out. That's been all for today. Thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Q once again. Thank you. Thank you. And catch you on the next one. We out.
We was young and used to tweak, say we was moving too rough. Run up 100 in a week, but then I tried to take it from us. I gave the rummage my whole heart, cause all I wanted was love. I try to stay up on my mind cause I be tripping.
Damn, Shaestackz! Get on Shaestackz!